Okay, this is the first video on YouTube. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that Dodge center axle disconnect Dana 60 and cut it down to where the wheel mount surface will be at or near the wheel mount surface on this old CJ5. I'll set the camera up and do like a time lapse, and if this works out, I'm going to do the same thing to that Dana 80. Okay, now that this thing is out and kind of sort of suspended on jack stands here, what I'm going to do is I got to make a material run, but if I line up a piece of angle iron through the center point of this axle, that comes out to about just shy of 30 inches, I can set up another piece of angle iron a predetermined distance away, create a parallel line. That way I know that this is straight, and then I can mark a line across the center of the axle, scribe it in, and get ready to cut out that center axle disconnect.
Some early audiences for Costa thought Puccini had taken this realism thing way too far. One proper British reviewer wrote, "Those who were present were little prepared for the revolting effects produced by musically illustrating torture or the dying kicks of a murdered scoundrel." Composer's Datebook is produced by APM, American Public Media, in conjunction with the American Composers Forum, reminding you that all music was once new.
Thank you for joining me for Midday Classic. Great music for your midday. Welcome to the library. We'll start here with a nocturne by American composer Ian Beach, with a nocturne written in 1924, which is an Eskin performance.
My original side, the short side's cut inward of the long side, so I had to do kind of a funky cut instead of just going from the top down. But the short side doesn't matter anyway, because this now fits in. So this is 7/8 total. Half of that would be 7/16. I'm going to align that 7/16 up against the edge there, and then that should be my line. I just cut in my scribe line. Going to do the same thing here. Remove that piece and then cut out that center section. For what it's worth, I'm doing this more for me than anything else. It's 9 3/8 on this side, and what I'm measuring to is this known point here. You can kind of see the knuckle comes up, precipices, and then goes down. Very visible known point. If I get the center of that, line it up with that, calling it a day. That's what I did for the scribe line here. Repeat on this side. I have my scribe line in. What I'm going to do now is clean up this fucking mess a little bit, and then use a sawzall. Sawzall on either side of that center axle disconnect. And what that'll do is that'll gain me 11 inches. However, with the measurements that I've already taken on that Willys, that Dana 25 that's out there, I need to end up taking 13.5 inches total from this side. The short side, I need to reference my book one more time, but for sure 13.5 inches. The problem with these is that, again, I have to reference my measure book here, but essentially there's about another 10 inches from this C out. So that's something that I can't take out. So I'm going to have to compensate in the tube. So let me clean some of this mess up. I'll set up. I'll hack this thing out with a sawzall, see what I can get. Alright, let's let the fun begin. I'll start with this side here. Just arbitrary. Okie dokie. Oh, yeah, that's thick. Not my best work, but fuck, it'll do. Just so you guys know, this is all just for mock-up. This axle I cannot use. The case is stretched too far. So, if I get this and it's successful, I might have to start buying more of these Dodge axles. So you know, for the future, doing it that way is definitely the better way to go with the angle grinder. Look at the cut difference. It's not perfect, but at least it follows the contour better than this. You can kind of see a lip. So definitely angle grinder. Way to go. Okay, so after doing some redneck measuring, right now outside of the wheel to outside of the wheel, those two blocks, that's 63 inches. The CJ5-6 tub is 59 inches wide to the outside of the flare to the outside of the flare. So obviously I can't go through and make this thing totally small. I want a little bit outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2.5 inches out of there and an inch out of there. So that should get me 59.5 inches outside of wheel to outside of wheel. In theory. Again, this is just a template, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to use this tape because that's exactly, it's a little shy of an inch, but I'll use that tape there, go around, hit it with the angle grinder, get the outer knuckle there because that is a little cattywampus, so I'll straighten that out, and then get this side squared away with that 2.5 inches. I'll take 1 inch off this, and then it should all be copacetic. Okie dokie, I have this measured out. This tape is 1 inch wide. However, because this is cattywampus like this, I basically got this as flat as I could, rolled the tape over, let it hang, so it created its own little like plumb bob deal. And then I measured from a known surface, which is this flat part of the knuckle, mimic the angle as best I could, and this ends up being 7 1/16. So with a 16th variation, I tried to keep this line as straight as I could. I'm going to hit this with the angle grinder and then see if I can't get that flat. I'm going to have to take another 1.5 inches off of that, and then 1 inch off of that. Let's go. Back at it. I'm going to take 2 inches off the short side and see what that gets me.
Pack that. Just pack it. should